Welcome back to The Explainer. Today, we're unpacking the tactical gems, the coaching philosophy, and honestly, some pretty surprising moments from Graham Potter's post-match press conference right after Sweden's World Cup opener. It was an absolutely massive night in Monterrey. For any student of the game, there is just so much to learn from how a team operates, adjusts, and thrives at the very highest level of international football. So let's dig into the details. Okay, let's just dive right into this with a totally unexpected moment. Before we even get to the intricate tactics, this quote from Potter is just a perfect reminder of the sheer chaos of tournament football. I mean, right in the middle of a high-stakes press conference, he literally realized his ear was bleeding from some bizarre touchline scrape. That unpredictability extends all the way to the manager's technical area, proving that a World Cup is just a wildly chaotic environment from top to bottom. But, despite those literal sideline hazards, the real story of the night is this massive number, 5-1. This wasn't just a win. This was a massive statement opening victory against Tunisia. Potter was quick to note that this decisive result completely validates the intense, basically 3-week preparation camp the squad went through leading up to the tournament. Imagine being in that locker room, a grueling 3-week camp translating perfectly into a 5-goal masterclass. It gives the players the ultimate confidence that their exhaustive hard work is paying off exactly when it matters most. Section 1. A fantastic 5 goals start, analyzing the opening victory. Let's break down exactly how they achieved this statement win and what it tells us about the team's current form. So the crucial point here is that Potter wasn't just happy with finding the back of the net 5 times. He was genuinely thrilled by the holistic team effort it took to get there. He pointed out the exceptional defensive stability first, laying that rock-solid foundation. Then he loved that crucial goals were actually coming from the midfield, proving the squad isn't just relying on its strikers. But maybe most importantly, he praised the immediate high-energy impact from the substitutes. In the draining, intensely humid conditions out there in Mexico, having a bench that steps onto the pitch and immediately shifts the momentum is a massive tactical advantage for any manager. And this right here brilliantly illustrates their mental toughness. No emotional reaction. Look, conceding a goal at the World Cup can easily cause panic, right? Usually, an emotional reaction means players losing their shape, picking up unnecessary yellow cards, or rushing passes. Instead, Potter emphasized there was zero emotional reaction from his squad whatsoever. Sweden's absolute calmness at halftime proved their immense maturity, which is incredibly rare considering a lot of these guys haven't played in a World Cup before. They simply reset and focused only on what they could actively control. Section 2. Chemistry and key players. Building the attack. Moving on from the overarching team mentality, let's focus on the individual sparks that ignited this explosive performance. Notice the stark contrast here between Alex and Victor's extremely limited history together. They've played together only about 7 times for the national team, and their explosive, undeniable chemistry on the pitch. Potter noted that despite this short tenure, they possess massive potential because they just complement each other perfectly. They bring completely different attributes and individual qualities to the table. When you combine those contrasting skill sets, you create a dynamic, unpredictable threat that's incredibly difficult for any defense to contain. Speaking of that front line, Potter gave us this fantastic, slightly humorous insight into his striker's stamina. He mentioned that Alex has this really unique ability to look completely exhausted, but the second the ball comes near him, he just springs to life like he could play another 2 matches. For a coach, that's a fascinating dilemma, right? You want to rest a clearly tired player to manage his minutes, but you're managing a player whose relentless drive absolutely insists on staying on the pitch. Ultimately, Alex's sheer willpower meant he played the full 90 minutes. Beyond the attackers, Potter gave us some crucial updates on the rest of the squad. First up, Josh Ahari. If you were surprised by his breakout performance, well, Potter reassured fans that his impact is totally backed by his deep Premier League experience. The guy is battle-tested. As for the backline, Gibbons' early exit was, thankfully, just a cramp. The medical staff is going to monitor him closely, but it looks like a major bullet dodge for the defense moving forward. Section 3. Embracing imperfect football. Potter's tactical philosophy. Behind the raw stats and individual brilliance lies a very specific coaching mindset. I absolutely love this point because it offers such a profound look into the coach's mind. Potter acknowledges they aren't a perfect team. Actually, he says perfection simply doesn't exist in sport. Why is this mindset a competitive advantage? Well, accepting your flaws and remaining humble removes that paralyzing fear of making mistakes. While they struggled with results in the recent past, fully embracing the imperfection of their journey is exactly what's driving their current growth. They're constantly evolving, constantly chasing perfection, without being broken by the shortcomings.
So let's see how this builds into a tactical masterclass on the pitch. Potter explicitly outlined this three-step balancing act required to dismantle a frustrating, out-of-shape opponent like Tunisia. Step 1, you've got to remain deeply disciplined when a team deliberately tries to pull you out of shape. Step 2, stay stable and solid defensively, but, and here's the tension, you have to do it without dropping so deep that you become entirely passive. And finally, step 3, while managing all of that structural integrity, you have to consistently offer a dangerous attacking threat in transition. It's an incredibly difficult tightrope to walk, yet they executed it beautifully.
Section 4, the Mexican World Cup experience, Monterrey's magic. Of course, none of this complex tactical execution happened in a vacuum. While the extreme heat and humidity tested their physical limits to the absolute breaking point, Cotter made a special point to highlight the incredible atmosphere. He noted how the electric, welcoming energy from both the traveling Swedish fans and the incredibly supportive local Mexican fans actively pushed the players forward. Crowd momentum is a very real tactical factor in tournament environments, and the squad completely fed off that welcoming energy to push through their late-game fatigue. Section 5, the imminent Dutch threat, the looming challenge. Because in tournament football, you simply cannot celebrate for long. The stakes are about to get significantly higher very quickly. How can Sweden maintain this exact form against the Netherlands and Japan? This is the exact question posed by the media right after the match, acting as a swift reality check. The tactics and that imperfect balance that absolutely crushed Tunisia must now rapidly evolve. They're stepping out of their opening triumph and directly into the ring with much deadlier, highly experienced opponents. The margin for error is about to shrink drastically. Potter actually spent his afternoon scouting the Dutch team, and he is under zero illusions about what's coming on Saturday. The Netherlands are a top-tier, highly organized unit, packed top to bottom with fantastic individual talent. Potter readily admitted they're considered heavy favorites for the entire competition. But, part of navigating a World Cup is psychology. Potter is deliberately shielding his team from the outside noise. Predictions and external expectations do not matter to this squad. All that matters is executing their highly specific job against a formidable favorite. Which brings us to this grounding philosophy that perfectly sets the stage. We know we're not the finished article, but that's also exciting. For any team building toward a championship, or even anyone watching who's building something in their own life, realizing you aren't a finished product isn't a weakness. Like Potter says, it's exciting. It means there's room to grow, new ideas to implement, and higher ceilings to break through. They're a deeply humble squad, yet entirely ready to test their absolute limits against the world's best. So the stage is beautifully set for a massive midsummer clash. We've examined their tactical discipline, their explosive striking chemistry, and that remarkable calm under pressure. But it leaves us with this final, provocative question to think about. Can Sweden's imperfect, high-chemistry attack truly overcome the heavily favored Dutch machine on Saturday? We will find out very soon. Thanks for joining me for this explainer, and I'll catch you next time as we continue to break down the beautiful game.